These are the top 5 ab exercises that you can use to get your core shredded, and we're gonna start, right? Everybody loves doing the same old crunches over and over and over again. And they'll just do these crunches and then still wonder, why can't I get those 6-pack abs? Why isn't this making me look shredded? So why do we want to train our abs? A lot of individuals just want to isolate their abs and they'll get this crazy burn and then they want to get that 6-pack. But in reality, the reason why we want to train our abs, or more importantly our trunk, which means our abs, our obliques, our back all together, is that this can lead to an improvement in your overall muscle mass. It can help you squat more weight if your trunk is more stable. It can help you do things more effectively in everyday life without putting your back in a bad position. It can also help with sports performance if you have a very dynamic trunk and you have great control over that dynamic trunk. So training the abs isn't necessarily going to be all about isolating the abs, but working the core, working the trunk together to improve its overall functionality. Now, these are going to be those 5 key exercises that everybody can do today. Go to the gym, try them out today. Let's go. All right, so this first key exercise is actually gonna be a little bit of an isolation movement, but I'm gonna show you how to take a little bit of stress off your lower back and how to get an absolutely insane burn. And I'm even gonna share a way that you can pair this with a big movement. I think that's a big concept behind training abs, behind training your core, your trunk, is that you've gotta figure out and feel how to transfer that to more dynamic movements. If we're training just our abs and we don't know how to transfer it to a squat or to a lunge or to even something more athletic, then there's no point in actually doing it. And so that's one of those big concepts that I'm gonna share. Now, the first exercise is gonna be a real simple crunch. I know I just made fun of crunches, but it's gonna be with a plate. And I'm gonna show you how to use that hole in the plate. And I want you to put your feet in your butt real close to the box here. And this is actually an exercise I learned at Charles Poliquin's Strength Institute back in like 2008. So you put your toes together like this and your heels out to try and shut off a little bit of those hip flexors, just a little bit, okay? And we're gonna hold this plate directly over our eyeballs, okay? Hold the plate directly over our eyes, and you wanna crunch and take this while keeping that over your face, okay? So the whole point is that we wanna take this up to the ceiling. Now, the other thing that we want to do is not let our shoulder blades touch, or like right as they're touching, get back up off the ground. So we're gonna go here. Oh, and you're gonna feel a ridiculous burn. Now, like I mentioned, I want this to be paired with something. So I like doing 3 sets of 17 or 2 sets of 50, something crazy like that. But we'll pair that with a goblet squat that's also gonna be really high rep, or even front squats or zombie squats. That's gonna help you feel the abs, feel the trunk while you're doing that more complex movement. Okay, this next key exercise is a movement that's easy to do at home. You don't need a ton of weight, and it's going to be a hydro weight kayaking exercise, okay? So all you really need is the hydro weight. You don't even really need the bench. You could do this on the ground if you wanted to. And the reason why I love using our hydro weight is because it forces a little bit more of dynamic trunk control. If I'm squeezing and I rotate really quickly, I have to be able to hold that position as the water moves, and we have to stabilize that position. So it helps with that dynamic aspect, and that's gonna lead to better performance. But also, if you're someone who's just trying to stay fit, you're just trying to stay healthy, you're trying to not hurt your back when you do the laundry or you take out the groceries or you pick your kids up, this is a really good way to train that same dynamic type of movement. And this is available at garagestrength.com if you wanna pick this up. Now, the kayaking hydro weight is gonna look like this. We're gonna sit here and we wanna twist, and we want our elbow here, back and forth. Oh, and you can start to feel this in your hips and in your abs together. And then you wanna squeeze, and as you get better at this, you can go a little bit quicker and be a little bit more aggressive. Now, the big kicker is that you've got to stay on your glutes. Don't go back to that lower back. Make sure that you're forming almost like a V here. Go rapidly back and forth. Squeeze tight on that deceleration, and your abs are going to get blown up. You can do 5 sets of 9 on each side, or you can do 3 sets of 20 on each side to really fatigue that trunk. Now this next exercise is one of my favorite movements that I use with a lot of our athletes to train them to be a little bit more coordinated in their trunk, and this is called pass the plate. This is an exercise that you'll find in our app Peak Strength, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit more later. Now, when we get into pass the plate, if you don't even have a plate, let's say you're traveling, you're in your hotel room, you don't even have a plate to use, you can just visualize this and focus on some of those key things that we're gonna talk about. So the whole goal here, we wanna lengthen here, lengthen with our upper body. When we come up here, I'm gonna press my abs through my belly button, okay? I want my lower back pushing down into the ground. I'm gonna put that plate here, come back, up. Remember, when I'm here now, even at this point, I want my lower back pressing into the ground. Here, oh, you're gonna start to feel your entire abs just blow up. The main goal is that as you're trading the plate back and forth, your lever is gonna alter, but you want to force the abs to push down through that lumbar spine into the floor. I would recommend doing 3 sets of 12 each way, and you're gonna feel a ridiculous burn, and sometimes you could even superset this with a dynamic plank. I love training abs to be as functional as possible. But seriously, I do. Especially now, as the winter is about to approach here in Pennsylvania, I've got to prepare for shoveling because my wife doesn't want us to use a snowblower. So one of those exercises, and this is a movement that I use with a lot of different athletes as well, is going to be a side dumbbell chop. So this could be with the dumbbell, or you can use that hydro weight similar to the kayak. So we also want to use our balance pad here, our garage strength balance pad, super dense foam that you can put that knee down on, available at garagestrength.com. And the whole point is that we want to focus on rotating and coming across while my hips stay stable. A lot of people that might have like lower back issues when they rotate too much, this movement's gonna feel absolutely phenomenal. And you wanna decelerate here, come back up, decelerate and squeeze, and you wanna switch sides. We're gonna go here. Now, if you haven't head over to garagestrength.com and you haven't picked up our sweet hydro weight, what you can do, you can get a dumbbell, go here, try and stay as square as possible. You can switch sides to make sure that you've got that nice balance. I recommend doing 3 to 4 sets, 12 reps each way. Now, one of the key concepts behind training that dynamic trunk control and training your trunk is that you learn how to use things and hold things in a stationary position while you're moving other parts of your body, okay? So if we're running to make a cut, or if we're doing anything around the house and we have to pick something up, there's typically a point where there's a lever arm, you have to be stable in one area while you're moving the other area. And this is where this exercise comes into play. This is gonna be a barbell bicycling crunch. So if you're just getting back into working out, or you're starting to do some more crazy trunk stuff, start with holding a stationary object and pressing through that lumbar spine with your belly button, okay? Pushing into the floor. And you can do something super simple here, just bicycle while you're holding this. And that action of pushing down into the ground is really gonna trigger your abs to be more coordinated. Then as you improve, you can hold this position and do a little bit of a V up. Oh. And that's gonna make you even more coordinated and a little bit more advanced and a little bit more dynamic. And then finally, that can lead into holding the hydro weight overhead here, and you wanna make sure that you're not falling all over the place. Oh, oh. And when you're using the hydro weight, now you can't get pulled side to side, especially when you're on a floor like this. It'd be a little bit better if we were on a mat or on the turf, but your shoulders start to slide a little, and then you have to squeeze down even more to be more dynamic. And so you can use barbell cycling or the hydro weight cycling. You can do 3 sets of 17 on each side. It's gonna light up your abs. So having strong abs or having dynamic trunk control is absolutely paramount if you want to be an elite athlete. It's also essential if you want to maintain health and structural integrity as you age. You need to coordinate all of your abs and your trunk and your back all together so you can operate as efficiently as possible. And if you need help with your efficiency, make sure you check out our app, Peak Strength. So inside of Peak Strength, there's gonna be over 35 sports that are personally programmed. So you can put in your peak date, you can put in the date that you wanna effectively have the best performance possible. And we periodize everything backward, personalized to your specific needs and your goals. And when you head over to peakstrength.app or go to Google Play or the Apple Store and you download Peak Strength, you can get a full week of free training. So make sure you pick that up today, peakstrength.app. And if you want more content behind the app, make sure you also check out our other YouTube channel, Peak Strength. Because remember, freaks, if you guys want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.